Desire feels good, doesn't it? Desire that is not contradicted by doubt, that is. In other words, when you want something, when your life has helped you to come to awarenesses of what you prefer or what you want, when life helps you to say, this is something that I really want, and when you feel confident that it's just a matter of time and not that much time, and you will be the full receiver of it, then that desire feels so good to you. In fact, it is life-giving, isn't it? It is exactly that, life-giving. But if you have a desire, especially if you've had it for a while, and because your vibration about it has been out of whack and you haven't known it, so you're not receiving it. You've asked, but it's not anywhere you can see it. So over time, now you don't believe that it's coming, or you worry that you might be doing something wrong. You come up with really amazing justifications about why it hasn't come. It must not be appropriate for me to want that, or all the good ones must be taken, or I must have done something wrong in a past life, or you're very creative in that way. But what it comes down to is when you want something and it hasn't come and you don't know why it hasn't come, and you're sort of beating the drum of when will it come and where will it come from and who will be with it and what should I do, then those desires don't feel so life-giving. They don't really drain you, but they're calling through you, and you're not letting them go does set up stronger resistance, which is innervating to you. And that is what produces all negative emotion. Every negative emotion that you feel is because you have a desire that is summoning energy, but you have beliefs or chronic thoughts that are not letting the energy flow purely and clearly through you. When you want something and you don't contradict it with thoughts of doubt or disbelief, then there's no resistance, and the desire, as it pulls through you on its way to the creation of whatever it is you are wanting, as that desire pulls through you, it is life-giving. You feel enthusiasm, you feel passion, you feel frisky. And so what we'll be talking about today, all day here today, is about how to clean up that vibration, how to get yourself oriented toward what you want. You are source energy beings here in these bodies. Do you know that? Sometimes our physical friends understand that there was something before they came here, and they hope that there will be something afterward. But we want you to know that while you are here in this physical body, that only a small part, really, of the consciousness that is really you is focused here into this personality that you know as you. Now, we don't want that to make you feel diminished, because you are essential to the expansion of all that is. But all of you, all that exists as the non-physical part of you, is not here focused in this body. The larger part of you, sometimes you call it soul, we refer to it as your inner being, that soul source part of you still remains non-physically focused. You are a vibrational being. That part of you is purely vibrational. So then, as part of that consciousness focuses into you here, now you have the potential of the advantage of these two vibrational aspects. There's the source aspect, and there's the physical leading edge creative genius aspect. And those two vibrational aspects of you are playing off of one another all the time. Your life, in your willingness to expose yourself to variety, caused you and all that is to expand into an improved place. And the question that this gathering wants to help you ask and help you answer is, are you taking the expansion? Are you, who exposed yourself to the contrast and who is the reason for the improved discernment, the improved request, are you out here on the leading edge now receiving the benefit of that expansion? And the answer to the question is felt by you within your emotions. If you feel frisky, the answer is yes. If you feel energized, if you feel passion, if you feel enthusiasm for life, then that means you launched a rocket and went with the rocket and became the new and improved vibrational state, which means the manifestation has to catch up with you, and fast. But if you launch a rocket and you feel disappointed, or you continue to feel lack, if you beat the drum of the reason that you're asking, in other words, I'm sick and I want to be well, so you launch the rocket of improved wellness, and the source part of you becomes weller. We're not kidding you. weller than you were before you were sick and asking for wellness. So now the non-physical aspect of you is weller. But if you keep beating the drum of I don't feel good, beating the drum of I need someone to offer a prayer for me so that I can move from this place I do not want of sickness to a place of wellness, then without meaning to, by your attention to the reason you ask for wellness, you hold yourself in the vibrational attitude of sickness and you don't let yourself be the well-being. You are the creator of your own reality. And by that we mean you're not just the creator of your cars and your homes. You're not just the creator of your families and relationships. You're not just the creator of your empires. You are the creator of your experience within all of that. You are the creator of you. You are the creator of the experience of you. We want you to understand that you have the ability to focus yourself into alignment with who you are, regardless of what is going on in your experience. And when you discover that, then you will be the frisky, creative, joyful being that you came forth into this physical experience to be. You did not say, not one of you ever, I'll go forth and I'll find a bunch of others and I will convince them, train them, coerce them, demand from them, elicit from them behavior that will keep me feeling good. Not one of you said that. Instead, you said, I'll go forth, and through the expanse of humanity, I will accomplish enormous expansion. And I'll pay attention to the way I feel to make certain that I keep my thoughts up to speed with my own personal expansion. And they'll all be doing the same. In other words, you did not come forth to try to control the uncontrollable. You came forth to guide your own vibration into the furthest most alignment of your furthest most expansion. That's the only place you will ever find freedom. If you think you've got to control one other before you'll feel good, you're in big trouble because they didn't come to serve you.
Hi, Abraham. I've come to draw a number of conclusions about law of attraction, and I was wondering if I could present them to you and hear what you're thinking about them. If I think about law of attraction, I'm thinking of something that either is or isn't. So either there is no law of attraction or there is. But if there is, it's not something you can turn off or something that can be there just a little bit, like being just a little bit pregnant or a little bit dead. It's complete.
Well, you can be a little dead.
Okay, I acknowledge that.
In other words, you can pinch yourself off a little bit from life.
Yeah.
But we get what you're talking about. Yeah. We agree with that. Law of attraction is whether you know that it is or not.
Yes.
And you are offering vibrations whether you know that you are or not. And law of attraction is assembling the cooperative components to the vibration that you're offering. So while there is this powerful vortex of well-being that has been assembled by you and is revolving and spinning and drawing to itself on your behalf, there are all kinds of vortices of attraction going on around here. There are all kinds of them. And you can tell by the way you feel and by the way they manifest what one is active within you at the time.
Yeah, and that's then the second part. Because if I draw that conclusion and I see all those people around me that are all in their own vortex or not, and they're all getting that, what they want or what they energetically represent at that time.
Better said. There are a lot of people getting something very different than what they want, but those are perfect words, what energetically they represent, yes.
Yeah. So that means that everybody is representing something, and the universe is constantly doing its stuff for everybody at the same time to make sure that that person gets what he represents at that time.
Law of attraction is like a magnifying glass that is laid over everything and amplifies the vibration of whatever it is.
Yeah.
Law of attraction coordinates the vibrational frequencies and brings the frequencies together that are the same. Just like you're a transmitter and a receiver on your radio. If you tune your radio to 101 FM, you're going to pick up the broadcasting from that.
Yeah. So that means that if it all comes together for everybody, that means that not a single flap of a butterfly or whatever everybody else is doing or whatever I am doing, it all influences the entire system that we're working in.
But here's where we're going to deviate a little bit from where you're going. Everyone is offering a vibration, and law of attraction is responding to the vibration and matching the like vibrations up. But those over there in that vortex of disconnection, in that vortex of resistance, even though they're adding to the whole, if you are in alignment with who you are, they're not adding to the whole of your manifestations. In other words, you get what is your vibrational offering, they get what is theirs. And unless you make what they're doing your business by focusing on it and approving of it or disapproving of it, what they're doing won't be part of your mix, and you won't draw what they're doing into what's going on with you.
Yeah, I understand that. But what I'm trying to say is that I see this huge mechanism behind it that's making sure that everybody gets what he or she energetically represents at the same time.
It's the best description of what man has been calling free will for a very long time. You be, you observe or imagine or focus, and therefore offer a vibration. And then the things that correspond with that vibration are reflected in your experience. And from that reflection or manifestation, you now have the option of knowing more clearly, if you don't want it, what you do want, or if it's something that you do want, continuing to amplify that by focusing upon its positive aspects. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. So have you come to the conclusion in all of this analysis that through all of this exposure to life and through law of attraction's response, that there's a huge vortex of well-being that is culminated that will feed generations and generations and generations and generations to come? Can you feel the amassing of the huge well-being and the response to that amassing by law of attraction and what it means for all that is coming next? And can you feel that as this vortex of well-being expands and becomes more, that more and more those who don't allow themselves to go with it feel the discord of it? So it sort of explains why the rich are richer and the poor are poorer and the well are weller and the sick are sicker. In other words, this magnificent contrast is causing everything to become more. And as everything becomes more, it plays with stronger fashion against each other, doesn't it? That's why these are the best of times. They are the worst of times and the best of times. And the reason they are the best of times is because they are the worst of times. Because the best of times is always born out of the worst of times, you see. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I draw the conclusion one step further, because what I see behind it is this enormous intelligence, source, God, the universe, whatever you might call it, that is steering everything at once. So I've kind of come to the conclusion that that source is one, that we are one, that we are all coming from that same source part. We're all fragments of it.
You could not have said it better, and we said it less good as we began today, saying that you are source energy, and that you are powerful and eternal, and that then a part of that source energy is represented here in this physical body, but a small part of it, and that this small focus then causes you to ask, which causes you to add to this greater whole. And this greater whole then calls the rest of you forward. And when you go, you say, ah. When you go, you say, yes. And when you don't, you say, ow, in varying degrees. When life causes you to expand and you allow the expansion, it's blissful. And when you don't, it's less pleasant. And then you croak and you allow it.
Yeah.
Or you do a focus wheel and you allow it. Or you praise and you allow it. Or you meditate and you allow it.